So I just finished singing Peace, and I want to invite yourself. I want to invite you to invite yourself to choose that peace, to choose the peace that passes understanding. Whether you're in the valley, the trauma, the hurting, the hospital, in frustration, in fear, in anger, in self-doubt, in self-pity, or you're flying on the top of the world as far as you're concerned. Invite that peace that passes understanding into yourself. You're not going to understand it. You're not going to understand why you feel peace in the middle of the situation. You're not going to understand why you can feel peace when someone else is feeling completely frazzled. You're not going to understand why you can feel peace when someone else's mind can't shut down for more than 2 seconds. You're not going to understand why you can feel love when the situation or the person in front of you is not displaying love to you or being loving to you. You're not going to understand. That's why it says lean not on your own understanding. What you have to do is just trust that the peace is there. Trust that peace. Stop guessing, second guessing, and doubting that peace. If it's there, trust it. That is peace that passes understanding. It is a true knowing, a wisdom. 1 + 1 is 2. That is wisdom. That is an isness. It is a knowing of your own safety, of your own love, of your own support, of the own abundance and health and vibrancy and vitality that is being directed at you. That is what the peace is from. Recognizing that inside, that's what you are. Love, joy, compassion, order in chaos, light in darkness, love where there is disharmony. It's what you are. So trying to understand it in logical terms is like trying to understand what is consciousness in analytical terms, mathematical terms. What you are is peace. So when you are experiencing that peace that surpasses all understanding, trust it, lean on it, know that's what you are, what and who you are. That is the support of God, the support of the universe. That is God inside of you. That is Jesus. That is when we say we've invited Jesus into our heart, we've invited the Holy Spirit to come and live inside of us. We have attained a Christ consciousness. We've started an awakening journey. We've come to enlightenment. We have found consciousness and awareness, whatever way you want to put it and verbalize it. When you have that knowing and that peace on the inside, that is connection to source, connection to what you are. And so trust it and recognize that anything else is a story, a rewriting of the past into the future. The last time this happened and you just keep going and telling the new story into your future. Anything outside of that peace is a story, a label, a life you have written for yourself that can be rewritten. If you will trust the peace that passes all understanding. Trust the knowing that is in your life. Trust the knowing that is your heart. That is, and I don't mean the anatomical thing, although yes, it has a brain, and that is where we find peace. We have to find mental alignment to find rest and to find a knowing, a clarity within our own mind. We have to find physical peace of the gut brain and get our body's biome working so that our chemistry works with us. And then we have a heart brain that is peace. It's a guide to peace. And when we're out of alignment with who we are, when we're allowing the story to be more important than the connection to this source, than the connection to this peace, when we're allowing the situation or the circumstance or the way somebody else is behaving to override this peace, that's when we suffer. That's when we're living in hell. But when you come back and you recognize, I have peace. I am not heartless. I can see and experience compassion for those that are hurting, for those that are in line for things outside of their control to come in and to be experienced. However, I don't have to be in distress because someone else is in distress. How is that helpful? Who's living in harmony mode? If both of us start playing out of tune songs, who's helping who? How is that being there to support someone? No, I want to hold my peace in this time. I want to hold my own peace, play the best peaceful, beautiful, harmonious, loving, orderly song that I can within myself, so that others can see that it's still possible, so that others can recognize and experience that joy feels great and you can have it all the time. Peace can be here even if the situation and the circumstance doesn't look like it warrants it. Because that's what we are. This is the fuel inside of us that we are to keep built up. That connection to source and spirit that we are to maintain for ourselves so that we can thrive, so that I can thrive. I maintain connection to my source. And so I invite you once again to invite peace that passes all understanding, and stop trying to figure it out. Stop trying to figure out why you feel peace. In that peace, you may be given some steps. You may be asked to do some things by inspiration. Oh, it would be nice too. I should think about, why don't I? And as long as your peace stays, then you know that's direction from source. That's direction from guide, your Holy Spirit guide. It's direction from your subconscious to yourself, from your higher self to yourself, from God to you, from Jesus to you, from the universe to you, from all that is to you, if your peace is maintained while the thought is present. If you lose your peace because of this thought, you're not connected to source anymore. You have let go of your connection to source in order to hold a thought that God doesn't agree with. Not because the thought is wrong, but in this moment, the thought is not doing you any benefit. The thought is harming you by causing disharmony in your body. Now, if you're able to hold peace and think the same thought, and yes, while it might be triggering at other times in your life, and it may cause lots of feelings and disharmony at other times in your life, but if you get connected into source and you find your peace, and you can think about that particular topic or person or thing or memory or whatever it is, and there's nothing that comes up, or you feel a very vague feeling in the background, that's you clearing those chemicals. That's you releasing that story and the need for that experience in your life anymore. Because God always provides, all that is always provides the internal peace. If you are connected, when you are connected, it's there, it's always there, and it's your choice to hold these thoughts and stories that keep you out of peace, to keep clutching for understanding of why you might feel peace when there's something weird and wonky going on. But just trust that you are connected to source. That is where the peace is coming from. That's where the peace is being provided, because you're feeling who and what you actually are, which is your full connection to God through all of your senses, meaning the physical senses and the spiritual, intuitive, and instinctual senses. is all connected in. It's all tapped in. And so you are experiencing peace and you're being able to watch chaos. And in that moment, you keep being peace. And those looking for peace inside the chaos will start finding you, just like people who follow fireflies. When you want a firefly, when you're seeking the light, when you're seeking joy in the darkness, when you're seeking peace in the darkness, you look for other lights. And so those that can find peace in chaos, those that can find internal peace inside of situations that don't necessarily externally warrant or make it understandable why you would have that internal peace, hold it. Hold it, sing your song, shine as bright as you can. Find others who are shining bright lights and stand together and make an even bigger light, so that every single being that longs for light, that longs for peace, that longs for joy internally. I'm not judging anyone's choices externally. I'm talking about internal joy at whatever level you want and desire in your experience. Look for lightning bugs and go after them. Look for candle lights in the night. Look for flashlight bulbs in the night. Look for front porch lights in the night. Look for beacons that shine up into the night sky, like for Batman or whoever. Whatever level of light and joy and hope that you are seeking, it's there. It's there, regardless of how dark it looks around you. It's there. Just close your eyes for a second. Remember what that tiny little piece of light feels like on the inside of you. And then follow your heart every time that something in this universe brings it to your mind. If something out here gives you even that tiny little flick of light, you follow it. That's how you keep peace that passes all understanding. Keep following the little lights until they get bigger and bigger and bigger, and eventually you can just stand in the light. And then you are light. And you become what is attracting others to you. You become the lighthouse that is attracting and bringing in love and harmony and order and safety. Not because you're going out and hunting people, not because you're going out and rescuing or saving, but because they are drawn to you. They recognize safety because you are staying safe and stable and firm. Peace that passes all understanding is like a lighthouse. This is the lighthouse I'm putting down. And it doesn't move to go find ships. It doesn't move to make it easier for some people or others. No. There's no judgment. There's no attachment. I can't make every ship come in. I can't. There's no attachment. There's no judgment. There's simply a shining because it's who you are, who I am. And a love for anyone that comes in, knowing that they were seeking safety, seeking home, seeking land, seeking stability, seeking something. And I was simply present on their journey. And so even in that peace, even as the lighthouse, you don't expect a thank you. You don't expect appreciation from the sea. You don't expect appreciation from the sailors. You don't expect great blessings and gifts donated to you or something else. Because you're shining because it's who you are and what is right for you, and because it feels delicious to you. You're chasing those lightning bugs because they feel delicious to you and exciting and childlike and playful. That's why you're doing it. And if a particular boat or sailor or bit of the ocean wants to say thank you. You have been such a guiding light in my life. Ooh, how beautiful. How beautiful. But that's not why you're shining. It's not why you have peace. It's not why you show up every day. No. That's for yourself, for your peace that passes understanding. And so, with that, I am complete. Thank you.